YouTube, what's up? Leo Pazzo, welcome back. You know what it is, that's a channel. It's a 120 gallon reef tank build. That's what the video is going to be about today, from start to finish. This is a new client of mine that picked himself up a new 120 gallon tank, stand and canopy, dual overflow box, 72 inches by 18 inches by 24 inches. Here's some of the return and drain that was included, plumbing pieces that were included in the package of the the tank and stand purchase. Okay, so now that we got the tank and stand, we're going to worry about the sump for now and the equipment that's going to go inside this sump. So we have a 55 gallon sump. Its dimensions are 48 inches by 12 across the bottom from front to back and 17 inches tall. So basically I've designed this sump. You can see here there's 4 chambers that I've designed. I've actually picked out all my equipment first, such as skimmer and return pump that I'm going to be using. I wanted to use an actual external return pump, but I can't, as this tank is actually tempered on all walls here, which I cannot drill to attach an external return pump. Okay, starting on the left, the first chamber is the drain from the main display tank. The second chamber is where the skimmer is going to be, the larger chamber there. After the skimmer will be the refugium, optional refugium in the future. And the last chamber is where we're going to be connecting our submersible pump. Okay, so let's get started on some of the plumbing work. So what we have here is a submersible pump. We got a union ball valve and we have a T. It's 1.5 inches here, then it splits off and reduces down to 3/4. We have a return coming off onto the right, and we have a 3/4 inch return coming off to the left here. I don't know the exact location, but I know approximately this is how it's going to be laid out. So now that the plumbing's all done, we're all ready to head off here to the client's house to install this tank. We got my skimmer here that's brand new in the box. We got a return pump, Jebao return pump that's brand new in the box, and we have 120 pounds of Liverock. Okay, so I arrived here already at my client's house. I got the sump installed and the plumbing all installed, dry fitted right now temporarily. I just wanted to show you guys here. Here's the one overflow box with a drain and a return here. You can see the plumbing there coming from the pump. It tees off, goes to the right, and it goes to the left. We got union valves there so it can easily be taken apart. To the left here we have the drain, the 2 drains you can see there, and then the other return that's going to be coming up this pipe right here. And this is the other overflow box. So let's take a peek from underneath. This is the sump with the skimmer in it. Skimmer's just sitting here and where we want it to be. This is again the first chamber, which is going to be the drain. It's just coming straight down into there. This other line coming across is the return. You can see here also that I have some green markings on all the fittings when it was all dry fitted, so I can basically know the exact location on when I'm gluing it all together and where it is supposed to be. So you can see here again the plumbing that I had sketched out, pretty much the same gig on how I had it at home, all laid out here with the submersible pump, with the union ball valve, easy to take apart for maintenance, and for the most part that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm gonna get started on gluing this plumbing so we can get some water inside the tank. Alright, well here we go. We're starting to fill up the tank with water. I actually prefer to start to fill up my overflow boxes first before I fill up the main display tank. This way I can test for leaks in the overflow box and I can see that the drain is working properly and it's draining inside the sump. So here we go. We're just going to fill up the overflow box and get started on placing the rest of the water in. Alright, you can see here I picked up 120 pounds of Indonesian Liverock for the client. And the rule of thumb is for every gallon of water you want roughly a pound of rock. So again, 120 gallon tank, we're putting 120 pounds of rock in, of Liverock. So right now we're just continuing to fill the tank with water. My client, his home is run off of a well, so the pressure's not too strong, so it's going to take a while to fill up here. He's using well water for now for the initial setup, and then later on in the future he has the RO unit which he's going to get installed, and topping off the water with that for water changes as well. So let's take a peek here at the sump. Here's the return pump. You can see here just before everything's all glued in nice. We're just checking for leaks, making sure everything's not leaking, everything's watertight before we fill up the rest of the tank with any more water. You can see there's the drain. We already got it started draining into the first chamber and now second chamber there. It's working top notch. Alright, here we have a couple of bags of natural aragonite that we're going to use for the sand bed for this tank. We're actually just cleaning out some right now. We're just giving it a rinse underneath the tap. I suggest getting the new bags, putting them in a bucket and running them over water and just rinsing them for a little bit just to help get rid of some of that finer particles into the sand out, so it doesn't make the tank as cloudy. Okay, now that the aragonite's all rinsed off, we're just going to slowly start placing it inside the tank here. Usually I would put my Liverock in and then put my sand bed around the Liverock, but in this case we knew it was going to take a long time for the tank to fill up. We had many gallons of water to fill up here, so we just got started on filling up the tank. We rinsed the sand, and it was just going to take a little bit longer here to clear up, but for the most part, here we go. We got the tank running, we got the tank filled up with water, we got the Liverock inside the tank, we got the aragonite for the sand bed inside, we have the glass lids just placed on top here. We've already checked our plumbing, everything's working fantastic. The sump's at the proper level line. We'll take a peek at that momentarily, but there you go. You can see the tank is very cloudy. The sand bed there at the bottom as well, you can see that starting to come through. It'll take a couple of days for it to clear up, definitely. As well as the sump, you can see it's very cloudy. We got the skimmer on with the collection cap off. We're just breaking it in. This is my method of usually how to break in a skimmer, just to have it fully close the valve, let the bubbles just bubble right over. You can see all the plumbing here, everything's the same as we had it before. Again, no water leaks. We're just checking again for any leaks now that everything's pressurized and system running. You can see the sump level mark here. I marked them a rough area where the skimmer level should be, the chamber, and we got the return pump, the off mark and the on mark of the system running and when it's shut off. We have the valve for the return pump fully open. There's no need to restrict that. If we do, then we can. Actually, our return pump is fully adjustable. We'll show you that later on with a couple of settings. Fantastic pump, actually. It's very powerful, quite quiet, and we'll test it out and see how it goes over the next few months. Alright, well, now that the tank's completely running and we don't need to really touch any of the plumbing anymore, we place the canopy on top of the tank just to get the full effect. We're just going to let the tank cycle here for now for a couple of days. It should definitely clear up, so stay tuned. At the end of the video you'll see the tank a couple of days later and how it's looking. Okay, let's take a closer look at this Jebao DC controllable return pump. Here's a controller for the pump. It's actually quite nice to be able to control the pump, the flow rate of the pump, so that's quite nice to use. The pump does have an 1.5 inch inlet and an 1.5 inch outlet, which is quite big for a pump. Usually they come 1 inch or 3/4. If you want to look further into the pump, just check out the description below. Alright, here's some of the equipment that we use for the tank. We have a bucket of salt, H2O Ocean Pro salt, that we use for the initial setup for the tank. And we also put, you saw earlier, it was the skimmer, the Coralife cone skimmer, 150 gallon it's rated for, and the Jebao return pump. But you know what you're here for. Alright guys, well here's the tank 2 days later after the initial setup. This is some footage my client sent me just to show me how the tank is doing. Again, a quick peek at the skimmer here. It's already skimming up some nice bubbles here into the collection cap already. Just some quick checks that I told him that he can easily do. Just open up these cabinet doors and make sure that the water level lines at the correct level. Well guys, thanks for watching. You know what it is, Leo Pazzo. It's a 120 gallon reef tank build from start to finish. Stay tuned. But just so you guys know, there is going to be updates on this tank. We're going to be picking up some lighting and some other equipment, some power heads and whatnot. So guys, stay tuned if you guys want to see more. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. Again, thank you very much for all the new subscribers as well. Stay tuned, guys. Lots more footage coming. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Close your eyes.